So this is our third Saturday in Brunswick to stand in solidarity with the Occupy movement, and it's so interesting to watch it grow and change, and the problems that arise are perfectly natural, like the homeless people ending up in the encampments, and Lord knows they're part of the 99%. So the whole thing is a series of questions that seem to lead us in a nice circle. And I guess I'm very pleased that it's an organic process where we have discussion and nobody makes a decision that rules over anybody else, but we're very frustrated, naturally, that the United States of America seems to be an oligarchy or a plutocracy, and the whole notion of democracy has been swept away by power and money, corporations. So it's time to stand up, and I, for one, would love to see this evolve into a national strike so that we could really just not go to work one day, just say, okay, we're on the street.
It's about corporations, the bankers, and the financial institution, and how they have they have lobbyists in the government that pretty much buy out our politicians. That's simply what it's all about. The protests are pretty much to defend democracy.
Why am I here? I'm here because I love all the people that are doing the occupations, and my sign is about wanting to make the voice of the earth heard more than it is so far in the Occupy movement. Without the earth, we're nothing. We won't go anywhere. And I really hope we can focus more on the destruction and despoilation and violence against the earth in the coming weeks and months.
What's going to become of all this energy that's been going into this Occupy business? And
I think we should keep on doing it and expand. Because one of the things that I notice is that Occupy doesn't have specific objectives. They're so vague that even on a national level, or the New York bunch, you ask them, what are your goals? And then they come up with a bunch of very vague and fine notions that I agree with, but it really doesn't say anything. What the specific goals and objectives do they have? And I think we can agree on a lot of it.
I've been seeing a big accomplishment in the idea of 99%.
Oh, sure, but what do the 99% want? Equity, of course.
Fairness.
But how do you define equity in terms of specific legislation, specific, how do we feel about unions? How do we feel about the environment? How do we feel about the women's movement? How do we feel about all of these things? And I think one can be for unions without necessarily being opposed to anything environmental. I think the unions, you take the United Steelworkers, Leo Gerard's outfit, they're very strong in environmental and international organization. They've been supporting the Mexican steelworkers. Heck, you bring up their cost of living or their standard of living in Mexico and the cost of labor there, they won't be that competitive with us, and they'll be bettering themselves. It's a world that we're living in, not our own little cocoon. Starting with 1980, I probably made the first statement in Maine in favor of getting passenger railroad service. I helped organize train riders, and now we have the Downeaster. It takes a long, hard push to get a lot of these things done. You've got to organize, you've got to have a firm idea of what you want to do locally, statewide, and nationally.
I'm here just expressing my disapproval with the fact that corporations are considered have the same laws and protection that people do. And I don't think that's really a place that I want to support. Thank you.
I'm here because I'm very upset with the inequalities in this country and the trend that the direction we're going. And I can't imagine that we can't change this, that we can't turn it around, that the people want something more, and we're just going to have to come forward a lot stronger. And my favorite phrase these days is democracy is not a spectator sport, so we have to participate.
I'd like to say that I'm ashamed of the Obama administration for not pursuing the fraudulent behavior of the bankers. That those people should be held accountable, they should be tried, and I think it's deplorable that they're getting away with what they've gotten away with, which is robbing the country of its wealth.
And the oil companies.
And the oil companies.
And the oil companies and the major corporations who have all their money offshore, and all the lobbyists and our legislators, and
everything is skewed for the 1%. The rest of us are battling over the remains, and it's not fair. We're the workers. We've made the wealth of the country.
This is an article from Harvard Magazine, and it's about a study on wealth distribution in this country.
that last one.
And the middle bar is what the people who answered their survey thought wealth distribution was. And if you can see it here, purple here is the top 20%. And it's right about at 60% of the wealth. 40% is what's left here. That's what people think it is. This is what people would like it to be. And that includes people who voted for George Bush, would like it to be like this. This is what it really is. The purple, the top 20%, is about 84%. And then the blue is the second 20%, and the green is the third 20%. And the yellow is the fourth 20%, and the red is the fifth 20%. They're not even on the damn chart. They're not even there. The bottom 40%, between the two of them, get 0.3% of the money in the country. It's 3/1000ths of the money in the country for the bottom 40%.
In the November 24th Rolling Stone,
Yeah.
there's this wonderful article about how the GOP has become the party of the rich. It's very detailed. It's
Good.
online.
Good.
And it really traces what has gone on
Oh, good.
for
Yeah.
40 years in this country.
Yes.
And what is continuing to go on.
Yes.
And everything they say is like, it's in that context of these articles,
Yeah.
everything that legislators are saying is like so like a sham. It's just has no validity.
So many people ally themselves with that Republican Party set of positions when it is in no way in their interest.
That's true. Well, people vote and support things that are against their own self-interest.